8:46, time to ask the attorney your legal questions. We have attorney John Haymond from the Haymond Law Firm here this morning to answer a question from Evelyn R., who wrote in to say, I was involved in an accident pulling into the parking lot of my local school on Election Day. Because of the commotion, the scene around the accident, I felt like I was fine, but by the end of the day, I had to go to the emergency room with excruciating pain. I'm pretty spooked by the coronavirus, but my son made me go because of how much I was suffering. So what should I do? What should she do?
Well, you got a couple of major issues here, Tim, and I'll address the first one by telling you that, as we've spoken about this before, parking lot accidents are extremely difficult to establish liability because rarely, if ever, are there stop signs. Rarely, if ever, are there routes and rights of way. And usually the police don't want to get involved in writing up an accident report because it's on private property. But let's assume, for the sake of discussion, that we can overcome this issue and establish that somebody else is at fault for causing this. And now you have a basis for a personal injury claim. We found that ever so many people during this, during Corona, have been frightened of going to hospitals or doctor's offices for good reason. And so what's been done is that I advise people you need to get to a hospital or a doctor very quickly after the accident. Now, it's typical that after you've been injured in an accident, your adrenaline kicks in and you don't necessarily feel the impact of the accident immediately. But usually within a few hours you do, as is the case here. So assuming she went to Evelyn went to the doctor and got x-rays, now she's going to still be fearful of getting ongoing treatment because this is a person who's quite afraid of catching the virus. Right. And it's understandable. Right. So doctors are now giving what's called virtual therapy, and she can treat through the internet at her home without risking getting the virus. And again, she can get healthy in that manner. I always advise clients it's necessary to treat immediately after the accident and treat with regularity on an ongoing basis. So don't skip appointments, and it's necessary to have it as an ongoing because you must establish that the injury is related to the accident. So always mention that.
Yes, and it's a very good point that you brought up about the adrenaline, and that's a good reason. So thank you so much for the information. As always, and Evelyn, thank you so much for that. And as always, 1-800-HAYMOND or HaymondLaw.com is where you can go if you would like to ask the attorney your legal questions. But 8:49, got to get right over to Dan Amarenti for a check on the forecast.